bicycles?
Yes.
Alright. This will be a how-to video to build a bike rack in the garage. Sits on the ground. Kind of like you see at school playgrounds or libraries. Where else?
Public
places.
stores.
Where else? Where else might be one? Alright, it don't matter. But I seen some on YouTube before.
Lots.
Oh, there you go. And made out of wood. And I found this at Lowe's, handrail parts for making like deck handrail. So that piece of wood, Brian, point to the wood on it. That's the top rail, so it'll be kind of decorative. And the wooden post will sit inside that. And then the other long piece with the grooves cut in it is going to be the bottom. So it's already channeled. We don't have to do that. It's going to be about 3 foot long, about 2 foot deep. And I seen one on YouTube before a guy made, Henry Bradford or something, I think his name was. Herder. Brad Herder.
Yeah.
And so it's a pretty cool design. We're just elaborating on it a little bit, making it a little better, more decorative. I think all the tools that we'll need are what we have here. You got a speed square in the back for marking our cut lines. You lay that on there, pick that up. You lay that on the piece of wood, and that edge makes it go square to the board. Hold it on that 2x4 in the back, Brian. Hold it sideways so that edge. No, push it on like you're gonna make a line. So, never mind. He don't know how to do it. So he's just sitting it there. And hand me both of them. Hand me that and that piece of wood. So there's how the speed square works. Put it on here. That's just perfect square line. Put that line there and it'll be perfectly square because you're square here, square there, nice straight line. These are all going to be cut down to about 18 inches. The ones for the back will be 21 inches. Just because of the size, and I was trying to save money to build this as cheap as possible. The screws, Lou, hold the screws up. I got 2 different size screws.
Little size, big size.
Yeah, 2 inch and 1.1 because you only need 1.1 to go through the thing. Pretty straightforward. Tape measure, pencil. You got a drill bit for pilot holes because if you don't drill a pilot hole, usually the 2x4 will split. So it's just a small drill bit. Just something to make a little pilot hole, that way the wood don't split. And then
split too big.
I'm making everything out of screws. I like screws over nails. This is a pretty cool little gadget that'll go in that cordless drill. It spins. You can set the screw in there and hold it straight for you. That way the screw don't fly off, like sometimes happens.
Car.
I got an assortment of corner braces. So like I was saying, try to make it as low budget as possible. I've seen other people do them for about 30 bucks. My whole receipt was $42.57 at Lowe's. That was including the $1.88 for a Cliff Bar that he didn't even eat the whole thing. And so we got our circular saw. That's going to make our cuts. That's the circular saw will make all our straight cuts with, or however we have to cut it. It's all going to be butted together just for ease, make it simpler. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all my pieces to size, and then I'll lay all my pieces out and show you that in a minute. I'll come back to that before we start putting it together, and then
Can I turn it off?
I'll video the whole thing of us putting it back together.
Turn it off.
Okay. Alright, so we made some cuts, and every piece that I bought you can almost cut in half or a little less than half. So these are just the I guess it'd be spindles for the handrail. First ones I cut 18.5. These ones I cut to 20 3/4. You're able to get 2 out of each one. A little bit of leftover, grew a little tiny bit. This is the one long piece I had. It was 6 foot. Cut it right in half. Made it 3 foot. So it'll get 7 dowels in it, which will end up making 9 spaces with the 2x4s on the end, which is good for 4 bikes easily. Maybe squeeze 5 in if you got little kids' bikes and big bikes. Bigger mountain bikes, like on the other guy's video, his rack holds 4 bikes, 4 adult mountain bikes, because he goes every other space. So for the bottom, this will be the bottom. We'll use the smaller pieces. These are going to be the vertical pieces, and these pockets are big enough that these will sit on top of the other ones. I don't want to do that. I don't want to distract anybody or misdirect them. Scoot back a little bit. So I'll get these out of the way. Take one of those and spread them apart. Spread them out like we did in the store. Bring one over here. This far apart. You put 4 in. You put 4, or you put 3 in. You have to work from one end. When you do this, you have to work from one end, holding it together. Stop. You have to work from one side to the next. So he'll start on his side, pushing it in as he goes, and then I'll drop one in for him. We'll hide that knot. Now you put one here. Put it all the way in.
It's much easier when someone's pushing.
Put this one in. Put this guy in. And this one with the knot, you end up with 8 of them when you cut the 4 down. So I'll get rid of that knot. So that's pretty straightforward.
And then you're going to put some right here where these other ones are. There's going to be a little spot for the other ones.
Yep.
Right here.
Can you give me the drill? I just throw a couple screws in here for now. They don't have to be real, give me all that stuff.
Pretty basic screwdriver. Pretty basic white screwdriver.
White screwdriver?
Yeah.
So I'll just throw one in each corner, and it'll still be able to be racked with these in there, because I'm only going to put one in each end. So if it's not straight, it don't matter right yet. I'll be able to fix that with just one screw in each corner. Like I said, you'll still be able to rack it. That's a hammer drill. Real cheap Makita set. Got it on sale. 2 drills in the set. This thing costs 60 bucks, and you can do anything with it. Push it down here. This is what I was talking about by it being racked.
This
Back up a little bit.
looks like an H.
Back up a little bit.
With
When something's racked, it's like this. It just means it's out of square. And with just one screw in each end for right now, it'll be easy enough a little further along to fix that. I bought some pieces that'll actually fix it for me. These will square it right up when we're ready for that. Watch out, I'm gonna spin it.
It looks like a ladder.
Just like a ladder.
Just like it.
Put your foot up against that. So try to push it a little tight. There you go. And it'll all pull itself tight anyway. Once we start screwing everything together.
Hammer drill. Give it through that.
Push it this way. Move back. So, I'm not going to screw every single one in right now. This is just kind of.
Just gonna screw each end in.
Yeah, just the ends for now, just so.
And then
Not to make it a long drawn out video.
later on,
But that's the basic. That's the basic. I got to cut some 2x4s. This will sit right here to tie these corners in. I have to cut the corners now to get them ready, and then that'll hold all that in, and it'll also once that's all done, it'll be sitting on metal on the floor. It won't be sitting on the wood. It'll actually be a hair. So these pieces, the longer ones, these are the 20-inch pieces. These are going to sit in here now, like this. Once I'll build this back piece up, and they're going to sit like that. They'll get screwed in, and I got some little braces for them. I actually don't think I got enough, but these will probably get maybe like one on each end, just to keep it from racking.
Braces will hold them in.
Yep, it'll keep it from getting racked.
Yeah, and it'll keep it from falling over.
Yep.
So when you put your bikes in, your bike doesn't like knock it over.
Nah, it won't knock it over. We'll fix it. So I'm gonna make a couple cuts and get a couple more pieces now that we know some measurements, and then I'll turn the camera back on. All right, so I got all the screws in now, both sides. It's already like pretty, and that's just a single screw in each one. It's pretty sturdy. The measurement between here and where his hand is, 20 inches. So I cut a couple pieces of 2x4, 20 inches, one for each end. And I should put them on now. It doesn't matter. The easiest thing to do, flip this upside down. Now that's the bottom. Whatever side you want to be the top, put it up, because now it's opposite. So just grab a handful of screws, and that's where these come into play, right here. These will make my corners, make them nice and square, nice and easy. I'm just going to throw one in now to hold it, one in the corner. And then one right here. Kind of locks it in for you. And you definitely want to hold it a little kind of firm, because this is what's squaring it up for me. This is actually squaring it all up. So that one here. Make sure it's all tight. I'm pulling in, I'm pushing in this way, and I'm pulling in with my fingers this way to hold it all tight. Be careful you don't get your finger under there, or a piece of skin. It'll definitely pinch you. And then I don't want to lock it in too tight right yet, because if it's wrapped, it will straighten itself out here with this end. So just one screw in each piece for right now, and it's pretty. This is this. I'm also going to put some in a different spot on these sides, longer ones, to hold it tight too. But these are just to square it up more than anything for right now. So what I mean by the ends is I'm going to drill a little pilot holes here and put some 2 inches through there. So and the back's going to look like that when we stand it up too. A little different, a little more decorative. But this is the bottom right here, and then in his hand that'll be the top. It's kind of decorative. So I'm going to go ahead and then these posts will all be in there. Go to the top of that. And I think it's just going to work out pretty good. Like I said, for under $40 and a little bit of time. I mean, altogether, we're probably not an hour in yet, and half hour maybe. So. All right, I'm gonna make some more cuts, grab some more pieces, and come back. All right, so just on this cut, and in case anybody else tries to make it the same way that I'm doing with this handrail stuff, these don't line up. Some of the holes are. If I do them out of these holes, it won't look right. The post will be leaning one way or another. I think it'll look terrible. So I'll put them in probably like right here, and they'll be and level them up. I'll just make them level. So don't expect that these pockets. Move that. These pockets don't line up with these pockets perfectly. As you see, this one here, that's pretty much straight in line with it. By the time you get over here, you're like half a hole off. So they're just generic pockets that aren't very good, because I checked this bottom frame for square, and it's absolutely 100% square. So you just have to fix it using the level and just making it look good to the eye. So got a couple pieces to cut, and then I'll come back and we'll start putting this together. All right, so I put the two ends in. They actually went in pretty good. So now I put a screw in the top, screw in the bottom. Simple enough. Put this in from the top, from the bottom first. Get it in that little pocket up there. Line it up. Push it in. Goes right in. Same thing. Get it in the little pocket. Push it in. If any of them are cut a little bit too long, they're gonna make the other ones go in easier. And I just cut them all by hand. No chop saw set or anything like that. I just cut them freehand with a circular saw. They're just popping right in. They're going in pretty good. And line it up, put it in. Pretty straightforward. Grab you a handful of screws.
Yummy, delicious lunches.
Easy enough.
Good.
Small little screws. See, some of them are kind of crooked looking.
Daddy, they can see me eating. They can see me eating. Daddy, watch when you're watching the video. All you'll see is a can of oranges in my hand.
Easy enough. Go down to the bottom. Go down to the bottom and hold it back. Pulls it right in. No problem.
It's stuck.
So I mean, that's pretty sturdy right there already. But I'm going to put 2x4 from here down to here, and stiffen it up some. I'll make them cuts and come back. So these are, I ended up putting longer screws in them, the 2-inch. Made it a little stiffer. I'm also going to run a 2-inch from the bottom up into the bottom. It is pretty stiff already for what it is. And then this is going to be my last cut piece of 2x4, 24 1/4 from the bottom to the top, from the bottom to the top. And then screw that right on the side. I got some some plates for that. Alright, so finishing touches are going to be putting this end piece on. It's already cut, size. No big deal. Throwing this on. Couple screws. Throw one down the bottom just to hold it for now. Line it up top a little bit better. Gonna put a couple plow holes on it. I'm not really worried about how close that is, so I'm gonna trim it a little bit and I'm gonna file it and make it look better. I don't want to pre-drill these. I don't want to split that top rail at this point. 2-inch screws. Throw these ones down the bottom real quick. Some long screws. Simple enough. Also, bought some of these. Get there. Throw across here to hold it all together. Keep it from racking. I never really checked to see if that was level. Should have. It looks like it's leaning a little bit. I'll check it more on this side. Got that, and got throw one of these on there somewhere. Make sure they won't work. I ain't real worried about it. It looks pretty straight, and that's good enough. It's definitely going to serve its purpose, no matter if it's a little bit off or not. It's fine. So, throw these in here. Last screw. Outside of putting them plates on. And, I mean, pretty much. There you have it. It's a couple bucks. Didn't cost a whole lot to make it. Pretty straightforward. I am going to throw screws up from the bottom into them, but that's just so you can see it. So one other thing I'm doing. Some finishing touches. I realize now why the guy made his a little higher. It makes the bike go in and out easier. But if you just roll the front of these a little, I just took a little bit off with a chisel, and then just gotta file around all the edges. And it looks a lot better with the edges round anyway. bike goes in and out a lot easier. It's nice and smooth. Yeah, it's pretty pretty straightforward. Nice little bike rack. Inexpensive, easy to build. Don't look too bad. Bikes fit right in it. No problem. Here's a BMX bike. This is a 20-inch. The 20-inch fits right in it with no problem. Sits in there, holds it up fine. I'm not touching it. Sitting in there with no problems. And like I said, this bike rack is kind of geared for every other. You put one in every other spot. And the other guy said you turn the handlebars, cock the handlebars sideways, and that way the bikes will stay in it. You'll get more bikes in it. But this works great. I don't think my 29-inch mountain bike will fit in it. I don't think it's tall enough for the big wheels. I want to give it a shot, but I don't think they will. But that's it. Nice little bike rack, cheap. Didn't cost much, under 40 bucks. A little bit of time, a little bit of effort, and got to hang out with my sons and build something fun. They had a good time. My oldest boy said he loved it, and they're out riding the bikes now. So we got one bike in there right now, and what I meant by turning the handlebars is once you put the second bike in, they kind of get in the way of each other. One of these are 24, one's a 26, but keep all the handlebars turned the one way and the bikes fit great.
I got cowboy boots on.
Thanks for watching the video. Hope it helps you out, and keep riding.